After Joe Burrow was repeatedly rocked during the Super Bowl, the Bengals this offseason are working to take steps to make sure their quarterback stays upright. Wouldn't that be nice? The Bengals adding 3 starting offensive linemen to the roster this offseason. But there are some experts out there saying even with that, maybe don't hold your breath that the Bengals can repeat. So how much did they help their starting quarterback there? Taking a look at the most sacks taken in a Super Bowl, Joe Burrow there was 7 along with Roger Staubach all the way back in 1975. And each one of these quarterbacks went on to eventually lose the Super Bowl. So as mentioned, the Bengals, you can see their old versus new offensive line. The Bengals, according to CBS Sports, one of the teams that helped their quarterback the most, but will it be enough? Let's welcome in our quarterback, Danny Kannell, here to talk about which teams helped their quarterback the most and which helped them the least. You can find the article on CBSSports.com. We're going to get your opinion on it. Let's start with the Bengals here. How much improving this offensive line did they help Joe Burrow?
Amanda, if you or I were GM of the Bengals, we would have watched last season and said, we got to do something, right? Like, we have to make changes. He was sacked 70 times, which is pretty remarkable considering most quarterbacks, if you get hit that much, they go into a shell, they get shell shocked, and they can't make any throws. But it was pretty remarkable that Joe Burrow still was able to put that team on his back with some, 500-yard passing performances down the stretch to get them in a position to the Super Bowl. So I think it was interesting, too, that they really shored up the right side of the offensive line, from the center to the right guard to the right tackle, which is where your eyes face. I know the blind side is so important, and you want that blind side protected. They obviously feel pretty good there. But the front side, where the pressure is coming in your face, and up front, where Ted Karras is going to take over at center, Joe Burrow had nowhere to step up into in the pocket. And you can get guys rushing on the edge. You can face some great pass rushers on the edge, and you can just have your tackle say, push him out outside, I'll step up. And that, to me, is the more important thing. Fixing that center and right guard position, and then adding Lyle Collins on the outside of the right tackle position, I think it'll be integral. I mean, Joe Burrow is a superstar in the making. It would have been an egregious offense if the Bengals hadn't done anything. Instead, they revamped the whole offensive line, which I think is what any GM in the National Football League would have done.
Danny, let me ask you this. We had Ryan Harris on last week, and he said, look, I think everyone needs to not hold their breath when it comes to the Bengals. They're not a dynasty team. He said, look, it's hard to repeat what they did last season. Their division isn't easy. Do you think they can repeat what they did last year?
No, going back to the Super Bowl, I don't. There's just a long line, a history of teams that lose the Super Bowl of going in the tank. I mean, I was a part of a team. The Atlanta Falcons went to the Super Bowl, lost to the Broncos. I was on the Giants, then signed with the Falcons, Amanda, and we ended up with a 5-win season. And Jamal Anderson got hurt. It's not an automatic. They play in the AFC. There's a lot of teams with better rosters top to bottom. It felt like Cincinnati caught magic in a bottle last year with Joe Burrow and the team around him playing great football. I don't think they capture that magic again. I don't think their roster is teams in the AFC. And it's not a knock. I think they'll be back at some point in Joe Burrow's career, just not this year.
All right, let's go to another team that was voted to have improved things for their quarterback there, the Dolphins and Tua. Look, you get Tyreek Hill, that's enough. Great. You get Mike McDaniel, a new head coach there, but you also have just a handful of other players. But Danny, this all has to come down to Tua.
Yeah, Tua's make or break year. They are giving him every single avenue to succeed. They got the fastest wide receiver in Tyreek Hill in the NFL. They got the best tackle available in Teron Armstead. They went out and boosted up the backfield with even more speed in Chase Edmonds and Raheem Mostert. And they already have Mike Gesicki as a tight end who can stretch the field vertically as well. And Mike McDaniel's going to come in here and try to put Tua in a position to succeed. And this is the biggest debate. We live in South Florida. I talk to a ton of Dolphins fans. There's videos that went viral because it was an underthrow from Tua, which I don't put too much into. What I put a lot of stock into is Tua's style of play, which he has been in the NFL as a highly accurate underneath passer. At some point, you've got to stretch the field vertically. The best in the game do it. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, they're stretching the field vertically using their arm talent to put pressure on secondaries. It doesn't do you any good if you have Tyreek Hill and you're just hitting underneath crossing routes all day long. At some point, you've got to rear back and throw it. He should have the protection. He should have the receivers getting open. The big question that everyone is watching is, does he have the arm strength to exploit that? I think it is very much a valid question that Tua is going to have to prove his critics wrong. And if he's not, Amanda, there will be quarterbacks in free agency and in the draft that will be lining up to try to come to Miami to play with that wealth of talent that'll be around him.
And he may have to do that in the first couple of weeks. Like, I don't know how much time they're going to give him there. All right, another team voted, CBSSports.com, as helping out their quarterback the most. We're going to talk about Derek Carr and the Raiders here. Look, you get Devontae Adams, same thing, kind of Tyreek Hill. Here's Devontae Adams. Congratulations there. But look, this is the AFC West. This is the hardest division out there. They are still the betting favorite, the fourth in this division, and it's a distant fourth. Danny, how do you feel about Derek Carr and the Raiders?
So I think Devontae Adams was the biggest addition, of the biggest helpful piece, even more so than Tyreek Hill with Tua, because of the type of impact player he is. There's no question about Derek Carr's arm strength. There's no question about where Devontae Adams is in his career. He is in the prime as one of the top receivers in the NFL. So I love the move there for the Raiders. I love the move of bringing in Josh McDaniels to help Derek Carr come along at a point in his career where the expectation is we need to take that next big step. Now, Derek Carr had his career high in yardage, but he had one of his worst touchdown interception ratios this past season. I think that does change. I think Derek Carr is about to have a breakout season. I do worry about the offensive line, which plagued him last year. They had some injuries up front. They spent a first-round draft pick on an offensive lineman. I don't know if that's going to be enough. They were injured last year. Can they stay healthy? Because Derek Carr historically has not played well under pressure. If they give him protection up front and Josh McDaniels has a similar game plan to where Tom Brady got rid of the football, I think you could see a massive upside year for the Raiders and Derek Carr being one of the surprising teams and one of the toughest divisions in the NFL.
So those are the teams that help their quarterbacks the most. Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.